This is Jack Rice, someplace in Afghanistan. I've been all over this country. Kabul, Kandahar, Herat, at forward operating bases throughout the country. And right now, we have a nationwide and worldwide question on whether or not President Obama's decision to send 30,000 more troops to this region is going to make a difference. I've talked to people on the ground, Afghans. I've talked to Afghan army, Afghan police force, and of course, American soldiers and some of the leadership as well. And here's my conclusion. This is a disaster. I mean this. In terms of what's happening here in Afghanistan, this country is massive. The terrain is crazy. It's like something I've never seen before. Some have tried to compare this to Iraq. Not even close. It's nothing like it. Dropping 30,000 more troops on the ground, will this make any difference? I can tell you, being in some of these really remote areas, 300,000 troops and you could not dominate this area. That is a fact. The real question has to be this. If we're going to do something here, is it about trying to crush the Taliban, and I mean this, crush the Taliban, or motivate the people themselves to ignore the Taliban? Now that's critical, because if it's true, why are we spending $30 billion for these 30,000 more troops if we could spend that same $30 billion on assistance? What would happen if we did that? That is a real question. If we did this with water, if we did this with schools, if we did this with hospitals, would that motivate the people more? In the end, if we look back at why people have supported the Taliban in the first place, they did it for security. But Taliban, and this is even according to a lot of the soldiers, I mean senior leadership I've talked to, 05 and above, the reason that people frequently supported the Taliban was because of security, not because it made their lives better. Imagine what would happen if your lives were better, and the Americans had helped do that. Instead of the billions, hundreds of billions, maybe in excess of $1 trillion, who knows how much this will end up spending. Do you think we would have been more successful going down that path? That's the question I'm going to have for this president, and we will continue to push Congress and everybody else, no matter where we have to be, whether we're inside the district, inside the Beltway in Washington, D.C., or here in Afghanistan. This is Jack Rice.